Hey everyone, Matt here from VapeRev. In this week's EDU, I'll be demonstrating how to rebuild the dome by Atmomixani. For this rebuild, I'll be using a single coil using stainless steel mesh, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to successfully rebuild your dome for yourself. So here we go. So before I demonstrate the rebuilding process of the dome, I'm just going to walk you through some of the materials you're going to need. So first of all, you will need a torch. You're going to need some e-liquid, and I put a needle top on this. It just makes it easier to fill the tank. You're going to need some scissors or snips, a flathead screwdriver, a drill bit, and for this I'm using a 7/64 size drill bit. You're of course going to need your dome, and since I don't have the 510 adapter for it, I'm using it in hybrid mode with my Nemesis mod. You're going to need about 6 inches of Kanthal wire, and for this I'm using 28 gauge, and also a section of stainless steel mesh. So before I actually get into building the wick and coil for this, I'm just going to highlight some of the nice features that the dome has. So on the top right here, this ring is to adjust your vapor temperature. That hole that's in the center that's offset, the closer that is to sitting directly above your wick and coil, the hotter your vapor will be. On the outside right here, you have an adjustable airflow ring, and this also does have holes for single coil or dual coil. If you remove the top cap, in the center you'll see your positive post. You have 3 negative posts which have the flathead screws, and you also have 3 plugs. Now these plugs are removable, and the dome is capable of using single coil, dual coil, U-wick, or double U-wick, and for this video I'll be demonstrating how to build it with a single coil. So since I'm going to be using a single coil for this build, I can just remove one of these plugs. So you can take it out and set it to the side. Then I'm going to take my drill bit and my section of Kanthal, and I'm going to start wrapping my coil. So what you want to do is you want to have the wire underneath the drill bit and leave a couple inches so you have something to anchor once you're done. And I'm going to be doing 5 wraps, and this is 28 gauge, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to start off, get 1 wrapped, and you want to just try to keep the coils as evenly spaced as possible. So that's your coil on your drill bit. And now this is where the drill bit comes in handy, because it actually helps you anchor it. So just pull that down. Then you're going to use your screwdriver, back off these screws a little bit. I'm just using 1 negative contact and the positive contact. Have this right here, get it wrapped around your negative post, and anchor it, and then get it wrapped around your positive post, get it anchored nice and tight. Just test to see that these are anchored properly, just wiggle them a little bit. Looks good. So now you can go ahead and remove your drill bit. Just kind of inspect it. It looks like that coil on the bottom's a little low. So you can just take your screwdriver, push up a little bit. You don't want the coil actually touching the negative post. And I'm actually going to test fire it without a wick in it. So I'm going to unlock my device and just pulse it. Just keep pulsing and let it light up. This kind of gives you an idea if you have any hot spots. It actually looks like it's burning pretty evenly. None of the coils are lighting up brighter than the other ones. So that's your coil intact, and now we're going to move on to making your wick. So now I'm going to show you how to make a wick out of the section of stainless steel mesh. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and roll it into a tube, and an easy way to do that is to just use your drill bit to get it going. And then you could take your drill bit out and you're just gonna get it a little bit tighter just by using your fingers to roll like this. And what you want to do is you want to get it to the point where it fits pretty snugly into that coil. Let's go ahead and try this out. I'm just going to try it. Alright, so when you put it in, you can just turn it. That helps it go in smoothly. So that looks about the right size. Just go ahead and remove that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to oxidize this. And you can just use anything to hold it, just a paper clip, some needle nose pliers, anything like that. I'm going to use a paper clip. Just push it through. Going to grab your torch. And what we're going to do is just use the torch, hit it with the flame until the entire thing's black. And this makes it so there's a layer of carbon and it won't conduct electricity through the outer part of this wick. So you can see it just starts glowing. And be careful because it will retain heat after you do this, so let it cool off for a bit. Just rotate it. Just want to keep going until the entire thing looks black and there's no silver sections showing. So that looks pretty good. I'm just going to let that cool for a little bit. Alright, so now that it's cooled off, you can just take the wick off that. I'm just going to roll it a couple more times. Sometimes it loosens up when you're heating it. And I'm going to put it into our coil. So you can see it's not too loose. You don't want too much space in between the coils and the wick. So if you twist it and it's giving you a little bit of resistance, that's a good indicator that it's the right diameter. So then you can see it coming into your tank right there. I'm going to leave it halfway down. It just gives the juice less of a distance between the tank and your coil. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut the wick at the top of the positive post. Just like that. And you can actually twist these leads off. Those are good. So now we can begin test firing it with e-liquid on it. So then you're going to take your bottle of juice, just put a few drops on the wick right here, and we're going to test fire it while it's saturated. So what you're looking for is any of the coils lighting up a lot brighter than the other ones. Right now none of that's happening, so that shows us that our coil is good and we're ready to fill up the tank. So now we can go ahead and fill the tank, and this is where the needle top comes in handy. You want to leave a little bit of air at the top. So that's good. And now what we can do is we can test fire it while holding it at an angle to see if it's wicking properly. So it seems like it's wicking just fine, getting a nice amount of vapor there. Go ahead and take our top cap, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure our air holes are visible. And for this we're using single coil. And you're just going to align the coil with the air hole in the top cap. And then you place your mouthpiece in. And that's your dome fully built and ready to go. Alright everyone, that's a wrap on this week's EDU. As always, I hope you found all the information useful and now know how to successfully rebuild your dome. If you like additional information about the dome or would like to purchase one for yourself, you can find it all at shop.vaperev.com.